Okay.
Hi, we are at the Golden Gate Bridge. Let me introduce to you Muslim-American cleric Khaled, Hamoui, and we're at the 10th anniversary of the United States 9/11, San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, 2011, and Khaled Hamoui is Syrian in background, and he is going to explain to us today, right now, exactly why he is here at this United States 9/11. And he's going to explain that there have been a lot of other 9/11s in the Middle East.
Yes, sure. As you know, there's a revolution going on currently in Syria, and each day that passes by, many people are dying in the cause of freedom and democracy. As you all remember, when 9/11 happened in the United States, many said that they hate us because we are democratic. They hate us because our women wear lipstick. They hate us because of this and the other. And all of that was nonsense and was not true. The truth of the matter is that the Arab people have been going through 9/11s over and over and over again. I, coming from Syria, from the city of Hamoui, I would like to share with you that in 1982 there was a major 9/11. 20,000 people or more perished in one city alone that rose against the Assad regime.
Now, in what sense was it a 9/11?
Well, in the sense that Syria is a tiny country with a population of no more than 20 million at the time. So to lose 20,000 people in one city during 1 month, you can imagine that was a grand 9/11.
And who planned and attacked the Syrian people? Who was now in the United States? It's supposed to be Osama bin Laden.
Right.
Although there are questions about that. Who was the perpetrator of the Syrian 9/11 in '82?
The Assad family. At the time, Hafiz al-Assad, the father of the current tyrant Bashar al-Assad, was in charge of the country. He was the president, and his uncle orchestrated and carried out the attacks on Hamoui in 1982.
Yeah, and so this family has now gone on through the decades, and it remains. And what you're saying is that what's happening in Syria now is another 9/11.
Syria goes through 9/11 every day and has been going through 9/11s for the last 6 months. Having said that, post 9/11 in the United States took its war on terror against the innocent people of Iraq who had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11 here. In fact, they would have loved to have gotten rid of Saddam Hussein in the same fashion that the Syrians and the Yemenis and the Egyptians and the Tunisians are getting rid of their own dictators without there being any sort of outside interference. Unfortunately, whenever the West and NATO sticks its hand and its nose in the affairs of the people of the Middle East, it complicates matters, brings about more difficulties, and grandizes the 9/11s that these poor people are already going through. And I have to remind everybody that since America took its war on terrorism to the innocent people of Iraq, 1 million Iraqi people, more than 1 million Iraqi people have died. The vast majority of them are innocent people. Now you're seeing people coming up with statistics supposedly suggesting that only 10% of the Muslim population and the Arab population are violent or terrorists. That is such a racist thing to say, and it has absolutely nothing to do with any sort of scientific evidence. It is based on grudges and whitewashing, and it's a new presentation of empty Islamic and empty Arab sentiments.
Okay, I have to point out that you have written a book about the 1982 9/11 in Syria. It's a fiction book.
It's true.
And what is the title?
The title is The Trojan Pastiche, and it is supposed to be a novel about an Arab Muslim man seeking a wife, but in fact it presents a lot of evidence as to the 9/11s that Syria has gone through.
Okay, now I need to ask you, Why are you here at the US 9/11 today?
Because I think it's important that we remember all victims of terrorism, and what the United States is doing is subjecting many, many innocent people in Afghanistan and Sudan and Iraq to many, many grand 9/11s. So along with the people that perished in the towers in New York and in the Pentagon, and I have to stress that many of those who perished were actually Muslims, not the attackers, but the people that got killed were Muslims, Christians, and Jews. And our sentiments are very, very deep, and our sorrow is very deep for all that died in the towers attacks and the September 11 attacks. But let's not forget that in this so-called war on terror, we've subjected millions and millions of people to 9/11s every year for many years. And every month, regardless of what we call that month.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
That was
Pleasure.
beautifully said.
Thank you so much.
Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you.